So guys, the Senate President Akpabio has been busted in this one. We know that recently he said they were going to be sending delegation to the United States to go tell them that there is no buying of Christians going on in Nigeria. Guess what? The United States lawmakers are saying they already have information that Nigeria Senate is sending a delegation to them to come and lobby Trump and the U.S. Congress from designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And they said they are not going to allow that to happen. So guys, I'm going to allow you to take a look at the video. But before then, take a look at this tweet that a Twitter user tweeted. And he said, breaking, Fox News reported that a group of Nigerian legislators have already flown to Washington, D.C., not to stop the ongoing Christian buying in Nigeria, but to lobby President Trump and the U.S. Congress not to designate Nigeria for religious persecution. And the person went ahead to say, while innocent Christians are being by daily back home, our so-called leaders are busy protecting their political image abroad. How do you defend this wickedness? How do you lobby foreign powers to silence the cry of your own people? Nigerians, it is time to wake up. And it is time to wake up. These people don't represent us, they represent their pocket. So guys, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at the video where the US is saying they've confirmed that Nigerian Senate is sending people to come and lobby them not to designate Nigeria. And guess what? Recently, Ted Cruz posted, he said the time is now to take action against Nigeria. And he was calling out those that are saying that there's no buying of Christians. He said they've already gathered enough evidence, so there's no going back to this. I'm just wondering how people are boldly coming out to say there's no buying of Christians. This is one of the evidence. This one is from the Plateau State governor who came out to say 64 communities have been sacked by these invaders. Yet the Senate president did not see reasons to, a kind of come up with a bill on how to stop these invaders, see how to restore those in the IDP back to their community. They didn't do any of this. Now they want to go to the US to go and lobby for them not to be, for Nigeria not to be designated, because it's going to stop some of the aid that Nigeria is getting from the US. So guys, these politicians, they just prefer, what they get to human lives. So I'm just going to allow you to take a look at this video. Take a look at this and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
Now, here's a little news. I was told this last week. There is a group of Nigerian legislators coming to Washington this week trying to petition the Trump administration and Congress from designating their country as one of particular concern. They don't want this, but they're doing nothing to protect the Christian population there and to stop these radical Islamic groups from just laying waste to people on the other side of the religious divide from them. But I've spoken to Christian leaders there for decades. They will tell you they are very much afeared that Nigeria is going to turn into what Egypt and Constantinople became, which, remember, was a majority Christian country that over time you had an Islamic destruction of the faith. And that's what's happening in Nigeria in real time.
35 faith leaders are calling on President Trump to act on the deadly persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Since 2009, over 52,000 Christians have been killed, including 7,000 this year. More than 18,000 churches have been burned since 2009, and over 5 million Christians have been displaced.
What can you tell us about what's going on in Nigeria and why we've been so slow to respond?
Well, first of all, just to put this in context, if you put together all the Christians persecuted for their faith around the globe, Rachel, they do not compute to the high numbers in Nigeria. As Charlie just mentioned, 52,000 killed since 2009. That equals, there's a group called Inter-Society, which does pretty good polling on the ground. They say that's about 35 Christians killed every day. Okay, 3 churches are destroyed every day in this area. And look, it's a combination. In northern Nigeria, you have both Muslims and Christians being killed. But in the Middle Belt and elsewhere, it's all Christians being slaughtered. And the perpetrators here are Boko Haram, whose name we know, an Islamic terrorist group. You have these Fulani herdsmen who run around on horses or on motorcycles with machine guns. They literally mow these Christians down, these farmers who are tending to their land. It is an outrage. And back in 2017, the Trump administration designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which came with sanctions. Well, when the Biden administration came along, Anthony Blinken lifted that designation. He said these murders were being committed because of climate change. So that's why you see now Ted Cruz and 35 Christians saying, wait, we need to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It's a bloodbath. It's a genocide.
It does seem like if this were happening to somebody else, you would see it on the front page of the New York Times, the front page of the Washington Post every day. Why isn't it?
Well, I think because A, it's Africa, and we just don't cover Africa the way we should, and B, for whatever reason, Islamic terrorism is just not covered. And when you look closely, 22 Islamic terrorist groups, including Boko Haram and others, have safe haven and have a safe quarter in Nigeria.
To that petition, which you and your associates wrote to the U.S. government, asking that Nigeria be designated a country of particular concern. We note that Senator Ted Cruz had described what's happening in Nigeria as genocide. The Nigerian authorities say this is a fairy tale in light of the fact that it misrepresents the complexity of the security challenges in Nigeria. Talk me through that petition and why it matters so much to you and your associates.
Let me state for the record that originally I was the one who filed the petition to the US government to get Boko Haram designated as a foreign terrorist organization. I did a 75-page brief, and what happened was the Obama administration was reluctant to do it. So out of annoyance, the members of Congress decided to introduce a bill to force the designation of Boko Haram as an FTO because the executive was not doing it. The same thing is happening now. What had happened was that the Trump administration, the last first term, designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern for religious persecution because of the way General Buhari mishandled the issue. When the Biden administration came in, they removed the designation. So the Congress, again, in annoyance, at another instance where the administration was refusing to do what they needful, decided to introduce a bill to designate it. Let me be very clear. There is no doubt that there is ongoing Christian genocide in Nigeria. We all are privy to what is happening. For the past 12 years, in northeast Nigeria, they will stop taxis on the highway and they will select the Christians, kill the males, take the women as sexual slaves, and allow the Muslims to go. This has been happening for over a decade. So there's no doubt about it. The real question here is whether there's complicity or complacency by the Nigerian government. That is what the International Religious Freedom Act looks at, whether the government is behind it or the government is allowing it. And this regime of President Tinubu has an opportunity to address that issue in a way Buhari did not. And my candid advice to them is, look at the concerns that are being raised and find a way to mitigate them, because that is what Sudan did. Sudan was able to get off the CPC list and go down to watch list because they address the concerns. Propaganda will not cover up what the reality is in northern Nigeria.
You know that some may see you as a traitor for allegedly trying to bring down your country because this has implications for Nigeria. Tell me whether this worries you and whether you are also afraid for your safety.
So let me be clear, because I have been an expert on Nigeria in Washington for about 25 years. And of course, I was privileged to meet you there when you served in Washington for many years as bureau chief. So I am consulted on issues relating to Nigeria. This particular petition, I didn't sign, but I had input. I reviewed it when they were putting it together. I will tell you this. At the United Nations 3 weeks ago, I met a Nigerian minister and I told her, sanctions are about to be imposed on your country. Do X, Y, Z. Do you know that since the minister left, she has not responded to any messages that I sent her? So we have done everything we can to try and reason with the Nigerian government that this thing is coming your way, but you can mitigate it. Again, they said they're sending delegations to Washington. If you come here and blow grammar, so long as you don't address the issues, you will have this problem. Now, let me quickly say this. This is my first time on your show since you lost your colleague, Somi. So please accept my condolences. But if you investigate that case, you will see that the people who attacked her home obtained their weapons from Niger. If you dig into it, you will find out that it is the same terroristic elements who are in partnership with banditry, who are going around doing these things. And no part of Nigeria is safe from them. The last we saw, the data we saw, about 270 locations, forests in Nigeria have been occupied by these terrorists. And statistically, Nigeria is the world's deadliest place to be a Christian. More Christians have been killed in Nigeria than the rest of the world combined for the last 13 out of 14 years. These are data points that are confirmed, that are known, that are tracked in the world. So again, let's not deny the obvious. Let us address the elephant in the room.
Okay, addressing the elephant in the room, Mr. Emmanuel Ogebe, I wonder if you have thought of the consequence of Nigeria being designated a country of particular concern at a time when the government is driving a very delicate and complex reform program. But in as much as this, when you look at the response from the government, that it has admitted that there are killings, but designating it, bringing this religious coloration to Nigeria's insecurity problem looks a bit more worrisome because we've seen attacks in the mosques also in northern Nigeria. Don't you see it as a bit misleading to designate Nigeria as a country of a religious genocide against Christians?
Let me be very clear about this issue. Some of the concerns raised by the congressman in his bill is the issue of blasphemy. Do you know that the people who are in prison in Nigeria now, who were sentenced to death and life imprisonment for blasphemy, are Muslims and an atheist? So the bill is addressing not only Christian persecution, but even Muslims who are suffering as well. Let me even point out something sad. Muslims who are accused of blasphemy have the opportunity to go to court and be tried. But a Christian like Deborah Emmanuel was killed, was burnt alive, recorded on video, and nobody has been convicted till this day. And the same thing with Eunice in Abuja, the same thing with Bridget in Kanu. So let's not play games with this thing. Secondly, let me point something out. Nigeria has been designated before, and Nigeria didn't die. What happened at that time was that they waived the sanctions. Remember that they are not targeting the citizens who are the victims of the oppression, but the country that doesn't act to address it. Okay, I'm from Benue State. Look at what happened in Yelwata. In Yelwata, 200 people were killed in one night. That same week, Israel and Iran were fighting with aircraft and missiles. And in the 6 days, the number of people killed in Israel and Iran was not up to the 200 people who were killed in Yelwata in one night. And we say it's not a genocide. I went to Zike in Plateau State. One woman lost 7 family members in one night on Palm Sunday. They killed 54 people. Her husband, her father-in-law, her mother-in-law, her brother-in-law, and her children. How can we as a country see ourselves being killed and international community is saying, look, work to address the killings in your country? By the way, we all know that the Fulanis who are perpetrating this terror are foreign fighters who were brought in for political reasons. So why can't we put our house together and protect ourselves? It makes no sense. We cannot allow ourselves to be killed in vain. If we will not do it ourselves, then nobody will do it for us.
Give our viewers context. You are a Northern Christian and a rights activist for that matter. It means that you have a wealth of information at your disposal. Tell me what you hope to achieve, or if you think you will achieve anything in the short, medium, and long term.
Killings have to stop. It is not sustainable. I can tell you that a place like Goza has been occupied by Boko Haram for more than 12 years. I have been to Cameroon and seen Nigerians in refugee camps in Cameroon till today. They're not back in their country, and it is not right. So for the immediate thing that needs to happen is the killings must be stopped. We need to have a situation where those Nigerians who are refugees in Cameroon can be brought back to the country. That means there must be clearance of the regions that are occupied by terrorists. The Fulani killer terrorists, again, have to be moved out of Nigeria. They are not citizens of Nigeria. They can't speak Hausa. That is the shocking thing about them. They can't speak English. They're easily identifiable. They come in here and they intimidate Nigerian Fulanis to join them. So we need Nigerian Fulanis and the Hausas who are also victims of them, because Hausa victims in the Northwest exist. We all need to band up and say it is better for us to protect our nation, Nigeria, than to owe allegiance to foreigners who don't care whether Nigeria survives or not. So we want to see the Nigerian government set up an international team that will work on sanctions issues so that we can address all of these issues one by one.
Right. Can you give us instances where the designation of a country as a country of particular concern has made any difference, and if you think it will make any difference in Nigeria?
Yes, the clear example was Sudan. Sudan was an egregious violator for many, many years, and they were top-ranked CPC. And when the government of al-Bashir was overthrown, the new regime that came in said, look, you know what, we're going to fix things. And they actually hosted an international religious freedom roundtable in Sudan, and everybody was able to air their views peacefully. And the US downgraded them from CPC to special watch list. If you look at that petition is saying that they don't want Trump to designate Nigeria as special watch list. They want Nigeria to be CPC. So it is a foregone conclusion that Nigeria is going to be designated this year. Forget what Boutros, the special envoy to Trump on Africa, said. He's a Lagosian. He doesn't know the experience of people in northern Nigeria. And for someone who is from Lebanon, he knows what happened to his country. It's divided religiously. He cannot come here and tell us what is happening in our own country. So Sudan is a classic example, a case study of a country that sat down and said, let us address this issue. And the US downgraded them. Nigeria can address this issue. Tinubu is a very sophisticated operator. He can get his Attorney General, Foreign Affairs Minister, set up a committee and look at the concerns and address them one by one. This is required by law in the US. There are parameters and indicators that you can meet and you'll be taken off.
Okay. Now, putting this in the proper perspective, now we've had a lot of people from government to the clergy reacting to the U.S. government designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. I wonder if this is a genocidal crisis or a crisis of narratives, because the Minister of Information said Nigeria faces an existential threat from foreign actors that plans and plot to weaken the unity of the country.
There is no foreign actor that is weakening Nigeria more than the foreign Fulani fighters that have come in and are destroying this country. Listen, the current National Security Advisor said before his appointment that the reasons that the Fulanis are killing is because Buhari did not keep his promises to them. We need to know what promises were made to them. Whether we like it or not, it is in the public space that they imported foreign fighters for election purposes, thinking that they would violently take over the country if he did not win the election. President Jonathan graciously stepped aside. And because of that, they didn't get the violent pillaging that they were promised. And that is why we see what is going on. Let me make it clear. You cannot argue that the reason why there's no Christian genocide is because others are being killed. That is madness. That is admitting your failure in the eyes of the world. You should not be happy that others are being killed. Sure, Muslims are occasionally collateral damage, but the fact remains that the violence is coming from their ranks.
All right.
And whether some of them are killed as well doesn't change the fact that their objective is to eradicate Christians. It is there are videos announcing these things.
You know, a time as such as this, I often ask some great question. Where are the bloggers? Where are the bloggers that are often carrying one gossip to another gossip? People are still trending the story of our brother VDM and our brother B-Lord all over the timeline. Those people are not supposed to be the focus right now. Those people are not supposed to be the focus right now. The genocide that's currently happening in Jos should be the focus. And this genocide has been happening all over Nigeria, not just in Jos. It's happening every single place. It's happening in Benue State. It's happening in some northern areas as well. It's happening in Jos. They are colonizing. That's what they're actually doing. They come to a community that they are Christian communities, and they begin to unalive people, and then they chase people out of the community so that they can enter that community and then dominate the community and turn it into their own religion. This is what is happening. Over here in the Southeast, we have seen our own fair share, where we see people that went to farm and then they were beheaded in the farm. They were attacked because they were farming. We've seen this happen. They are affecting our agriculture. They're affecting so many things, and yet it feels like the government is not even bothered about this. Or is it just that the government don't want to do anything? I don't know. But this should be drawing attention. Why they are trying to increase our taxes, this should be what they should be fighting for us. So what is the taxes that we have been paying for? If we are paying taxes, if we have been having increase in taxes, every single thing you get in this country right now, you pay taxes for it, and a high level of taxes for it. Apart from the one that the government knows, there are ones the government don't know. You settle the aboros, you settle every single thing. Everything is all about settlement. And even at that, we can't have peace. And yet when people defend themselves, they are being dragged to court for defending themselves. And yet when people are innocently unalive, nobody cares about it. And where are the Christian bloggers? The Christian bloggers that seems to be more interested in Pastor A said this and Pastor B replied this. Oh, this pastor did this. This pastor shouldn't have done this. This is time for you to come out and talk about the genocide. This is time we need you to raise a voice. Let us that are believers not allow this thing to die. Let us that are believers not allow this thing to die. We must keep talking on X, on everywhere. I'm so happy that international organizations are beginning to recognize and they are hearing the voice of Reverend Ezekiel. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the boldness. You know, it's just so funny. That man didn't have a very big church. There are no speakers, no cameras. That man didn't have the best suit to put on. He didn't have like cars to put on. And I'm not saying those things are bad, but this man sat and cried from 6 feet down. He cried. He cried because of the death of his members. He cried and the word hurt. That is the voice of one crying in the wilderness. He cried. He doesn't have the fancy setup like I have right now that I'm doing. And yet he cried, the word hurt. It's not just that Nigeria hurt, the word hurt. Everybody, international news are carrying the whole thing and they're talking about genocide that is happening in Nigeria. And then we have bloggers that can set up equipment like I'm setting up right now. And yet they're not talking about this. And I also want to call the attention of my brother BRG. I know you're definitely going to do something about it. I know you're going to say something about it. Probably, I believe you're gathering some documents, doing some research to be able to speak. I know you're going to speak about this. And I need you to hurry up and say about this because you have audience that listen to you as well. And it's time for us to speak. See, it's time for us to come as one and do something. It's not about, oh, that's not my church. That's not my church. There's nothing. You don't have a church. It's God's church. It's God's body. You are only managing a part. You're only being given certain authority to be able to lead certain part of the body in a certain way. Some of us are fingernails. We're only gathering people that are around the fingernails. Some of us are the hands. I'm calling on every single body out there. This movement will not end. We will keep talking about this movement. We'll keep talking about this movement. It's not going to end only in raising funds because the fund that we have raised for Reverend Ezekiel, there is not just for him. There are other people that need those funds. There are other communities that also need these funds. So why we give them funds to be able to feed, to be able to build up the church that was pulled down, to be able to secure their community through hiring help hands, hiring some higher hands to help them. May the Lord give us what I'm talking about, to help them guide the community. Whatever we are doing, some people might say that money is not money is needed to hire hands that can help the community, to help them wholesome, that can help the community. Every one of us have to put a voice in this. This is time to let go the pride, let go the misunderstanding, let go the envy and whatever. And all the churches need to do. I'm too small to talk to the body of Christ. So I'm not even talking to the body of Christ. I'm just suggesting this. And I know there are people that are doing something already that is not public. They're doing it secretly, which is beautiful. But there are some of us that have little platform, that the little voice we might give can help strengthen people that are listening to us, people that are following what God is doing through us. This is when your influence matters. I'm also calling on all the influencers out there. If you believe you're a believer, this is time to use that your platform to give a shout out to what is happening. The government might not do anything about it, but let it be known that we said that as such time as this, that we are crying out once again. We're crying out and let people hear us. This thing has been happening, we know, but somehow the voice of Reverend Ezekiel was so loud. That was because probably it's coming from a burden, a place where most of us have not been able to cry from. That man was burying people every single time. Burying people every single time. A friend of mine called me that was attending that church, that particular denomination, but not in the particular one that the Reverend Ezekiel is pioneering, is handling. And he told me some stories that it tingled my ear. I had to tell him, bro, stop, we'll talk later, because it was so much to swallow. The little we have done, there are many NGOs out there. Now we need you guys to come out. There are many people out there. Yes, our NGO, Giant Token Foundation, was able to give a little thing. We gave the little we have, and then we gave others secretly, because everything must not be out there. The reason why our NGO was able to make what we gave public was because it's an NGO. For people to get to know, okay, see, whatever we have, this is what we gave. We gave pretty much everything we had in our account. And it's not enough. And I'm so happy for the people that are following our page, following me on YouTube, on X, and different places. They were able to come together and they were donating, giving. I celebrate you guys. I love you guys from the depth of my heart. I'm telling us we can do more. We can do videos, talk about this, spread it every single nook and cranny of the internet. Let's leave the Brother VDM and Brother B-Lord issue. Let's leave it. And B-Lord as well, I need you to do something about this. You're not just going to be a billionaire in words and online. I need you to do something about it. You can give a support. You can reach out to Reverend Ezekiel and give some support. VDM as well, I know you're going to do something about this as well. But this is the time. We need every one of you. Stop the fight. B-Lord has an influence. VDM has an influence. Now use those influence and let's talk. Let's talk about the genocide that's happening in Nigeria. I know you guys have been crying about this, but let's come together. Let's leave this, whatever China, whatever, forever. We can get to it now. But for now, the biggest issue right now, happening right now in this country, is the genocide, the beheading, the martyring of the Christians. Not just the Christians. It's happening, not just the Christians. Let's not even make it a Christian thing. It's happening all over. It's just that they are doing it more to the Christian faith. Everybody's just fighting. Please, guys, let's not stop. Let's not stop. I was watching a video by what's the woman's name? Nancy Mace. I was watching a video by Nancy Mace this morning, and I got fired up. I was so happy about her posting about this. I'm so happy that these people are actually coming out with great boldness to talk about this, that even some of our media houses are scared of talking about it. And these guys are bold. Now it's time. I'm calling for everybody that is following me, that you believe in whatever God has placed in my life. Please give your voice to this. I know probably you are giving your prayers, you're giving your finances, but give your voice, lend the voice. Some of us, the little voice we lend can go a long way. I just want to stop here. And thank every one of you that have been supporting, giving to what, to Reverend Ezekiel, giving to that ministry, giving to the man of God as well. It means a lot. Don't just give to his ministry, also give to the man as well. All right. I heard that when they tried to get his account detail, He didn't want his personal account details to be money to be donated to it. He wants everything to go to the church account. But we have to insist that we had to insist that you also need some money. Let's not just give to the church and forget the one that laborates. But I know that every utterance that man gave was just inspired by the Spirit to bring a reawakening. Many have cried. This might be the time that we need. Let's keep putting on pressure on this till we get our victory in Jesus' name. God bless every one of you. Thank you. I remain your brother, Prophet Emmanuel. Shalom.
So guys, you have seen it for yourself. I'm just going to take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians after this guy posted this post. The post says, breaking, Fox News report that a group of Nigerian legislators have allegedly flown to Washington, D.C. not to stop the ongoing Christian buying in Nigeria, but to lobby President Trump and the U.S. Congress not to designate Nigeria from religious persecution. How innocent Christians are. While innocent Christians are being buyed daily back home, our so-called leaders are busy protecting their political image abroad. How do you defend this wickedness? How do you lobby foreign powers to silence the cry of your own people? Nigerians, it's time to wake up. These people don't represent us, they represent their pockets. So guys, this is what this guy tweeted, and Nigerians were really reacting. This person said Nigerians are too quiet. These legislators have families. The Nigerians are quiet, you know. This person says Senator Akpabio, the representative you sent will not return back in peace. Another person say, as same way America did in Gaza, I want that too to be done in Nigeria against those terror. And if our armies interfere, I support full attack on them. They are the ones protecting corrupt politicians. They are useless. They can track me, but they can't track terrorist hideouts. Let Israel troops come to Nigeria, come to northern Nigeria to check something. If they are truly terrorists in the north, they will do the job well in just 1 week. You're still talking of coming to check. I know this person saying, I know that the bastard Kuka, people are not happy with, with Bishop Kuka, People are not happy with him for coming out to say there's no genocide. A bishop, Khan said there's no genocide. Kuka said there's no genocide. Nigerians, these people, they are failing us. Why? This is why I keep saying those politicians are cowards. They always want to clear their name or protect it. That's why the youth needs to keep calling them out. Likewise, like we show have Operation Call Out. Okay, useless leaders, very useless leaders. Imagine going to lobby, not to depend or look into the security. Is it good news? It is good. Okay, this one says it is good news. This move will make the designation faster. APC ending and all its evil agenda in this country will end in peace. The people will try to lobby the United States Congress. Let's see if their efforts won't be exposed, confirming that U.S. would choose Nigerian resources domiciled in the Southeast over Christian lives. This person is saying, Akpabio, Tinubu, the people you sent will not return to Nigeria, dead, already waiting them from crash and all that. So these are some of the reactions from Nigerians. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.